Hey guys, what's up? It's Charlie here, and today we're going to be looking at 8 strange things found frozen in Antarctica ice. Antarctica is the southernmost continent in the world. It's a continent of 0 countries, 1,000 people, and 14.2 million square kilometers. But it turns out there's some scary things found frozen in the Antarctica ice. Before we defrost these scary facts, why not subscribe and press the notification bell too. Coming up first, let's look at a UFO base. We hear rumors of UFOs all the time, and on this channel we've mentioned UFOs a lot. Now, a lot of the time, UFO sightings turn out to be something totally explainable. But in 2017, the internet went crazy when something was found by satellite in Antarctica. One Russian man was exploring Antarctica using satellite images on Google Earth. That was when he saw something absolutely terrifying. There is what appears to be a dark object poking out of snow and ice. And by all possible explanations, it looks like it could be the wreckage of a UFO crashed in Antarctica. The Russian man named Valentin Dekterov says it looks like a crash site to him. And if you were to measure this to scale, it would be a 1,900 foot UFO. So this isn't one of those tiny things you see in the movies, this is the real deal. Some say this is simply a subject of pareidolia. This is a phenomenon where your brain tricks your eyes into seeing something else when it's not really there. These skeptics say instead it's simply a rock surface. Well, that may be the case, but how do you explain these things surrounding the UFO crash site? Some say this area has been guarded by army tanks. But what country do these tanks belong to? And are these army tanks guarding a UFO crash or something else? There sure does seem to be a crater where the UFO crashed and skidded across the ice. And it appears these 4 tanks have then come to investigate and guard the scene. But what do you guys think? Next up is pyramid. We all know that one of the great wonders of the world is the ancient pyramids of Egypt, but it's still a historic mystery as to how these were really built. Believe it or not, historians still are not in agreement as to how the pyramids were built. Remember, back then they did not have the kind of technology we have today, and some claim that aliens or other forces could have been behind the creation of the Egyptian pyramids. Well, a few years back, someone discovered a pyramid in the Antarctic. This was brought to attention by somebody finding it on Google Earth. But amazingly, this pyramid was not discovered on Google Earth. Instead, it was discovered back in 1910. This was during an expedition in Antarctica, but the pyramid was kept a secret. The expedition was carried out by German researchers all the way back in 1910 to 1913. But for some reason, all records of this pyramid were kept a secret for an unknown reason. But since somebody found it on Google Earth, these documents have been released 100 years after they were made. This could all be explained away as a mountain. After all, Google Earth images are not 100% exact. But the fact that a secret document from 100 years ago confirms this is a pyramid is really amazing. And it's honestly quite stunning how barely anyone even knows this. This pyramid could be seen all the way up in 2018 on Google Earth. But amazingly, a few months after it was found, it was blurred out. This suggests maybe it's part of a military base. Some say this pyramid could be occupied by the US or Chinese military. It's really weird this was censored after this was found out. And if you use the Google Earth time machine, you can actually see the pyramid once again. Coming up next is censored area. So we all know that sometimes on Google Earth, some things are censored. For example, many French military bases are pixelated for national security reasons. But many people don't know the largest censored area on Google Earth is actually in Antarctica. This is what is known as the 14-mile blur. Several large areas of Antarctica have been blurred out, and one stretches for over 14 miles, making it the largest censored area on any map in existence. But what exactly is this massive censored area actually hiding? Some say this massive censored area is an underground tunnel either owned by the USA or Chinese military. Many theorize this is a secret base world leaders could hide in if the end of the world ever occurred. But what do you think the reason for this censored area really is? Next up is mysterious meteorite. A couple of years ago, Japanese and Belgian scientists made an amazing discovery in the eastern Antarctic. That was a gigantic meteorite all the way from Mars. At the time, this was the biggest meteorite found in the past 25 years. And because meteorites shrink as they go closer to Earth, this means it was even bigger when it was in the sky. The expedition took 40 days to collect. and if it had hit somewhere other than the Antarctic, it could have wiped out an entire house. This begs the question though, why weren't we informed about this? It was only discovered after it hit Earth, not before. So it just goes to show, did NASA know about this and covered it up? It's very odd that we weren't told about this whatsoever. Next up is frozen ship. In 1914, the Imperial Trans-Antarctic Expedition began. The ship's aim was to cross the icy continent from one side to the other. The expedition consisted of 2 ships, but unfortunately one of them got stuck in the ice and it was crushed. Ironically, this ship was called Endurance, but it did not endure the ice of the Antarctic, and to this day the ship can be found frozen underwater in Antarctica. Next up is ancient rainforest. If I told you Antarctica used to be home to a rainforest, you may not believe me. After all, no plants can grow there today as it's way too cold. Well, scientists have found leaf impressions and fossilized wood in Antarctica. This clearly shows that hundreds of years ago there were in fact rainforests in Antarctica. There have been signs of tropical trees which were once there. And some scientists say that before the Ice Age, Antarctica was a warm region with civilizations living there. Much of the frozen continent is still unexplored by scientists. So as more and more gets found out about this place, who knows what we'll find. Some even say that the ancient city of Atlantis was actually based in Antarctica. Of course, the metropolis didn't used to be underwater, but some say the base melted away after the Ice Age. Next up is Blood Waterfall. Just imagine seeing a waterfall of blood in Antarctica. Well, that's exactly what you can find there, a flowing red waterfall. This was first found by an Australian geologist in 1911. It was later found out that the red liquid was simply water with a very high iron content. But it was only in 2018 when they first found the source of this red water. It turns out there's an underground lake which is full of oxidized iron. This gives the water that red color, solving the mystery. But from 1911 to 2018, it was a mystery as to where this red liquid was coming from. And finally on the list of strange things found in Antarctica, we have B-15. B-15 sounds like some kind of mysterious plane by the Air Force. But no, it's actually the code word for the world's largest iceberg. This iceberg is 37 kilometers wide and 295 kilometers long. This means its surface is larger than all of Jamaica. It was first discovered in March of 2000, and researchers say this could take around 100,000 years to melt fully. Vote in the poll what the most amazing thing found in Antarctica was. I think it's the pyramid, as that was covered up and then censored. If you guys want some more amazing videos, check out my second channel. There'll be a link to that on screen in a moment. But as always, thanks for watching. Check out some more videos on screen right now. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and if you haven't already, what are you waiting for? Subscribe to Top 10s.